British subscriber channel Lee speaking. I just want to carry on from where I was yesterday. I think I've got about an hour this morning. And just want to carry on from where I was last time. I just run out of power. I was tired. But before I carry on, Captain Kirk, thank you for this link. Absolutely fascinating. I don't know how you get the stuff that you find. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. Just kind of like in context of the last vlog, I subscribed to this guy. He's only got six subscribers. Nevertheless, this guy's on the same page, so definitely worth having a look. This was actually quite interesting, check that one out. Check it out because what his observation about this is all to do with churches as well. So this seems to be some kind of a relation. As Martin has said before, a lot of these towers, I get the feeling that they existed first, and then these church machines were sort of like built next to or around, or just incorporated themselves into these towers at a later date. Anyway, so that's what Martin said, and of course he's right, because I checked it out myself. So anyway, let's carry on from where I was last time. Oh, sorry. Silence Martin! Silence him! Silence him! Oh, oh, he moves. He flicks through so quick. I just have to wait now. Was it there? No. Moving on. Oh, someone. Was it that? No. This is kind of an example. I wouldn't be surprised if this tower went all the way down beneath ground level and then this was built around it. Okay, because I'm beginning to see that quite a lot now. These kind of rectangular constructs. Yeah, I just get the feeling that these were around first, and then these, I suppose I'd probably call this a church now, always adjacent or just built around, but at a later date. I think I've mentioned this before. If forget that, I think that's just put in at a later date, that one, but definitely. You've got our plane, our dome, and you've got these sitting above it. Okay, so it's just a depiction that these people were from above us. Yeah. I can't really zoom in on a video, but there's an awful lot of intricate detail gone into these. Yeah. But then they're just on this very sort of plain. Oh, I didn't mean that. Very unimaginative, if you want, structure. Yeah. So why go to all the effort? I mean, look at all the muscles, the definition and everything. Yeah. Look at it. Look. Yeah, even the clothes, the fabrics. Yeah. On top of that, why would you do that? I mean, that should be really sort of like super ornate or something, like really attractive, like flowers and stuff. But no, they just stick them on top of that. So what does that represent? Yeah. Anyway, come on. To keep my finger on the play button. Crikey, it's fast. Well, not much to say there, really, except why are all the paintings blacked out? Yeah, that's what I noticed. Why all blacked out? I mean, obviously look, can't see anything. No, can't hardly see anything. Why can't you? I mean, you've got the sun coming in here, shining on that, so why can't you see? It's all been blacked out. Why would you do that? Is it playing? Obviously, it's just scale, the absolute scale. Why does it have so high? You can see down here, I think we're going down. So this level, this ground level that you see here, there's been a catastrophe of sorts, and the ground level consequently is raised all the way up. Definitely at this point, see? Well, it seems to be like, I can't quite tell if that's coming down. Yeah, I think that's coming down there. And then it's kind of like a dip at this point. This is going down and then back up. And then we've got mud that's coming in here at this point, and then behind, no doubt, this is coming towards here. And then obviously this has blocked it to a degree. So it's found its way to go down here, the mud. Yeah. So look at that wall. Look how high that wall is, 20 foot probably. So with all of these kind of buildings, when we look at them, you're not getting a true representation, because they always go far deeper, as everybody is saying at the moment. But yeah, I mean, just even a scale, even at this ground height, yeah. I mean, why does it need to be so high? Is it because this was in a time of giants? And what was its function anyway? Yep. See there. Well, I mean, this looks like it was wood originally, and it's just what's the word? Leached sediment and stuff into it, and it's why is that word? Why can't I think of that word? I've had 3 coffees this morning. Petrified, yeah, it's kind of just petrified. Now, as I was saying on the last video, the Piranesi, his stuff, when he was doing his engravings, this was the world that he was living in, where everything's just falling apart. Yeah, it was just a cataclysm has happened, and it's just a place with ruins. And then if we go back to that other video, and I was pointing out where you had, the triangular buildings and that, well, clock face with a sun in the middle, and everything's pristine. Yeah, everything's been repaired. Yeah, so you can be assured that that clock thing that we saw was a later addition. Yeah. This is intriguing. I wonder again, was this wood? Yeah, I mean, if you look at this part here, it's almost buckled under some kind of pressure. Yeah. I think if Wise Up's on Saturday, I want to ask him if he thinks it's possible that a lot of these kind of buildings that we've been looking at, were actually made of something else, and not like the sandstone, limestone stuff that we see today. Could these have been perhaps wood, or perhaps something else? Yeah, but then through a flood, or something of that ilk, that these have just, for whatever reason, however the process happens, have just become something else. They've kind of like eroded their first element. It's just kind of like eroded, but it's then been replaced by other elements to give them this form. hope you'll be able to answer that question. But yeah, definitely looks like wood to me. Yeah. But then, if it was wood, has it got to this state? A sip of coffee. Sorry, let me just go back a second. See these little depictions on here, it all looks kind of like harmless, doesn't it? All like they look like kids or something like that. Whenever you see all this kind of architecture, and you've got reliefs, statues that appear to be of the same time, yeah, they're always pretty sort of harmless, happy, joyful depictions of people. Now, uh, I don't really go for domes as such, because most of the domes that we have today are kind of like made of slate, felt, and wood. Yeah, so for that doesn't really. Whenever I see a dome, I don't normally think no, that's part of the original construct, because I mean, as you can see here, the kind of damage that's gone on. Yeah, look, these pillars here have like snapped in half. Yeah, a bit of felt, a bit of slate, a bit of wood on a roof in the shape of a dome is not going to last. You know, outlast structures like these. Yeah, these things are solid. Yeah. Uh, but this is an exception because you can see this is made of stone, yeah, or rock, not of stone, limestone, whatever kind of building material. It's consistent with the rest of the building. Uh, had this been made of slate or stuff like that, I would have said, oh, okay, so this part here would have just went straight down to the roof and they've just covered over it, because they do that. That's all part of their disguising of ancient technology. They just block stuff in or cover it over, just plaster over it so you can't see it. But as you can see, I mean, this is clearly a mechanism. Yeah, clearly. What else could it be? Yeah, but yeah, quite. So we've got a column here, and what might be a church, on another scene. You sort of like got some kind of a tower, pillar, or something, and then a church adjacent to it, or surrounding it, or just incorporated into it. But I haven't got a clue. I mean, if you look here, yeah, you've got these arches. Yeah, so this was probably the top of a building. Yeah, that there. Yeah, it's probably the top of a building, like one of those half circular buildings that myths Martin, when he sees them in Leeds atlases, because he sees them all over the place and he's like, why are they there? What do they do? This is clearly one of those, but of course the ground level has come all the way up. Uh, these may well have been supports for a level, because perhaps because this is a roof as such. Yeah, so if you see what I mean, it would go much deeper, obviously, and these were part of it. So this isn't ground level. Yeah, so I mean, who knows? I mean, the devastation is just so great that the task of trying to picture what these constructs were and how they interacted. Plus, you've got cultural levels of people after resets rebuilding stuff on top, and it's almost an impossible task, almost. But yeah, there you go. Yeah, so that was a building. These were probably, I don't know, top windows at the very least. Yeah, and this will go down much, much further. Towering. These things were towering high in the sky. Well, I still don't really understand these are. I know that in modern historical narrative, they just say, "Oh yeah, they're gateways to ancient cities" and stuff like that. But I really don't know. But what I have seen in one lead atlas was that these were completely full. I mean, I know you've got like archways and walkway going through, but these were completely solid inside, and they had to be knocked out. It was all like rocks and stuff. They had to be knocked out. So when you see these as a gateway, that wasn't what they were. They were an actual block, a solid block. Yes, you did have kind of like square patterns or on the arch, on the undersides and all that. Yes, they were there, but it was all blocked in. But I don't know why. I don't know what they. I don't know what they were. Because real pictures are so hard to come by. Yeah, again, these wouldn't. These were not doorways. These were all filled in. Yeah, and not at a later date either. But again, this goes much lower. You can see the mud flood coming down that way. So there's an example with this roof. Yeah, that's not part of the original construct. In a catastrophe, that wouldn't last 5 minutes. So that's built on top. So that gives you a false impression. Yeah, if you just got rid of that, you might have a better chance of letting the building tell you what it is. What its function was. I mean, the only thing to note about this, I would say, is again, you're only seeing the top. You're not seeing what's below. Yeah? And then you've got all these around in close proximity to this. Again, these would be very high, in fact, but the land levels come up. So, but if you came here at this time and just looked at all this, you just wouldn't have a clue. You think, well, I mean, if you had an inquiring mind, you might say, well, why they put these odd-shaped, different height little pillars here? It's not going to stop anybody from getting to the water feature here. And why would you want to be stopped from getting to the water feature anyway? It just doesn't make any sense. But when you pull back the mud and everything else, excavate it, you'll get the whole picture. But you just need to look beyond what you can see. Friends has asked me in an email, what do I think about these, what's they call amphitheatres? Well, the only thing I can say so far is that when you look at the interior, it's sort of like a circle, and then another circle, and then another circle wider, and it's sort of like platforms going all the way up. Is that, well, it looks like a speaker to me, like a speaker for a sound speaker, like what you might have with your hi-fi, like a car stereo or something like that. I mean, that's all I can say. The fact that you've got all of these holes all the way around, yeah, it's like it's not it's not a container, is it? Because you've just got too many of these arches all the way around, yeah? So it's either it's some kind of a vent, because it's not a container, and they've purposely put all of these arches in all over it, or it's, when I say vent, it could be venting sound, or it's something along those lines. But I haven't looked into it enough. Yeah, not so sure about this dome here. I'm a little bit suspicious about that dome. Like it's made of the same stuff. Doesn't look like it's made of stone, unless it's been painted black. Yeah. But yeah, Martin was saying about there's an extreme lack of people. Yeah, you can't, because of the speed and that. Well, here you've got a waterfall. Yeah, a water feature with water coming up. Yeah, so the camera has been able to capture, yeah, that flow, that waterfall, but it can't capture. I mean, is that even? That's just like a smudge, isn't it? Yeah. So I mean, if you had um, what do you call the people? Tourists. If you've got tourists here, yeah, they're not going to be moving. Yeah, they're going to be standing, taking pictures. Maybe just biting into a sandwich or something. People are going to be standing around, yeah, or sitting, having a little picnic or whatever. Yeah, but so the whole shutter speed. Oh, I can't. It won't show people or horses or anything or carriages moving because they're moving, and as the camera gets the exposure, it can't capture any definition because things are moving. It has to be solid and still. But a waterfall isn't, and it's captured it. So rubbish. I bet there's a clock in there now. I bet they put clocks in there now today. Yeah, I mean, as Martin says, I mean, just look at the scale of it. I mean, it's frightening, isn't it? It's frightening, just the scale of it compared to the people. Yeah, I mean, well, it probably was. If this was a place where giants had access, the question is, uh, what exactly would they be doing there? If you think, if a giant's head came up to here, yeah, then how, what is the surface area in here, compared to a giant? So could he sort of like sit here? If you had, like, I don't know, a sofa, was this like in the front room? So he'd have a sofa there, so he'd sit there. And then how much room has he got to walk around? Yeah, where's the kitchen? Where's the bog? Just, just worth a thought. That's all. If indeed it was just supposed to be only a dwelling place for a giant. I'm not saying that it is, but just saying, if it was, would it be functional? Uh, yeah, again, mud flood coming from behind us. going towards here. Yeah, so it's an awful lot of mud. Yeah, and it's sort of like come to an impasse, which is this building. Yeah. So as high as this is in the sky, yeah, without this mud flood, this is as high as that. But then, of course, that would all be all the way up even higher. And yeah, but this building, yeah, we've got our dome, yeah, and we've got the upper world, their roof, yeah. So this is a time, this construct, when we were together. Yeah? That's for sure for this building. Yeah? Because, well, I mean, I'm not entirely sure, but when the people from below our plane broke through, they may have had knowledge to tell us that there was an upper world above our dome. It could be that, because I can't see how we would have a knowledge of their world, yeah, before we broke through, unless those that were below us told us who broke through first. Yeah. Okay. I guess this was the original aquifer or something. Oh, it's going too fast. I can't remember what Martin was saying at this point. Yeah, let's just go back there. Get ready, get ready, get ready. Oh, 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 clicked it too fast. Yeah, I mean, this part, Tundish, yeah. So, like, unlike that other building that I was talking about earlier with the Tundishes, yeah, this, at least on this fascia of the machine, is pulling stuff down on the outside, which is odd. But then this stuff seems to be pushing stuff out. But anyway, sorry. So this, at least here, looks like the original door, and then all this stuff has been just put in at a later date, blocked in. There and there, blocked in, as Martin said. Yeah, we've got some saintage going on here, at a later date. They've popped them in there, block it all up. But, I mean, just look at the beauty of it, the beauty at the time when these things were being built. Whatever their technology was, it was a thing of beauty, wasn't it? At the very least, you can look at these and just say, yeah, they are beautiful buildings or machines, whatever their functions were. And you compare that to today with factories or just, I don't know, just things that they build around the world now. They're just so ugly, and it's most definitely a reflection of the ugliness of the nation of world government. It's the ugly world that we live in today. It's just an outflowing you know, of their ugliness into architecture, you know. But then you look at stuff like this, and it tells you about the people of that time, you know, what they were like. This is the expression. That's the word I wanted. This is expressive of those people, and it is beautiful, and it's high technology and lost hidden technology now. Get ready. On the pause button. I've already forgotten what it was going to be now. Oh, looks like there's a river there, doesn't it? A river runs through it. Kind of looks like it, doesn't it? Sorry. Oh, stop. Well, you know what's wrong with this? What's wrong with this picture? Well, you've got your done dishes, stuff going down. You've got your arches. They're different widths. That's different width. That's a different width. That's same. So we've just got this one here and this one here. So it's all been blocked in, isn't it? Of course, it's all been blocked in. Yeah. So this shouldn't be here. All this inside there, all that shouldn't be there. That's been put in later, and I wouldn't be surprised if all of this brickage in here behind these pillars. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they were not there originally. Yeah, I think it's all just been put in the same way that boards have been put in, and these blocks have all been put in to make this habitation habitable for people to live in or to do whatever. You know? It was just a frame, whatever its function was, and there's like a circular tower behind there. Yeah? That looks like it's made of stone, so that might be original. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm not going to say anything about this. I just refer you to the video, that site conspiracy that I showed you earlier. I think it's rather interesting. But my first thing about looking at this, when Martin did it, I saw what he said about how they have disconnected this machine, its function, by blocking everything in. But I also looked in between here, and I'm thinking, I reckon that they blocked it all in on this as well. And my first thought was, perhaps that was the reason why this ended up leaning, because if it was meant to be completely hollow, like free flowing, you know, so wind can just go in and out, stuff like that. And it was structured so that it was okay in that way. But then once they bricked the whole lot up on the inside to discontinue whatever it was doing, consequently it started to lean over because the structure couldn't bear the weight of the extra brickage going on there. But that was my first thought. But then, having looked at this other site, video on Pizza, I was wrong. But I just want to know the truth. Yeah. Now again, you've got steps going up to it, and you think, I mean, look at the height. It's if you sort of about, oh, well, there's a person there. Yeah. So if you think how high it is all the way up to this point level here with this, if this was a doorway originally, how high giants were. Yeah. But then this isn't the ground level anyway. The ground level is much deeper. Huh. But they did a good job of bricking it all up. And another point about all this, shutting all these things down, yeah, is that it's been done over the world at the same time. So as soon as there had been a reset, the nation of world government, who were quite safe, out of the way of everything, yeah, they came in and they blitzed the whole earth of all of these functions. They blitzed it, yeah. So even back at the last reset, yeah, all the governments of the world have been working together, yeah. That all this nonsense about wars and conflicts and between countries and stuff like that, it's all bollocks, because they are their own nation, and they've been working in antiquity together to hide and destroy Antiquitech. So only they have it, so they can control the masses and dumb us down. But yeah, just I think we're still in Pisa here, perhaps. But I mean, this could be anywhere. This could be Romania. This could be Russia. Yeah, we've got all these kind of constructs all over the world, and they're all bricked in. Yeah, they're all shut down, all at the same time. Uh, there's always a possibility that these buildings of before the last reset, and that land, as well as sort of coming up, also fell down as well. So these buildings would be a lot more recent to these. You see what I mean? Because I very much doubt that if this building here was as high as that, and then suddenly the ground sank, yeah, that these buildings would stay intact if they came down to this new ground level here. I very much doubt it. Uh, and in the same way, with mud flooding, yeah, mud volcanoes, I don't believe that this construct, that the ground beneath it could raise it up to this level up here with these buildings, and then they remain intact. I just don't believe that either. Yeah. So yeah, so I'm inclined to think that at least in this part of the world, uh, there wasn't a mud flood coming up, but rather the mud ground level just dropped, leaving these buildings having the perspective of being built on top of great hills. Yeah, I think I've got about another 5 minutes, I'm afraid. I'm going to have to stop. Fortunately, I'm working local, so I didn't have to get up at 4 this morning, so that was good. Well, I don't really recognise these. We've got no breastage here at all. It's all covered. Who knows? So many resets. Yeah, some chainage going on there. Yeah, atmospheric electricity, water. Yeah, that seems to be at an angle as well. Seems to be leaning over a bit. But, I mean, that could be any time in recent past, couldn't it? But why would you stick that on the top? Eh? Look at that. But it's all been blocked off rather well, hasn't it? Shabbiness. Look at all these shabby hovels all around, you know. Yeah. Yeah, so we're evolving, are we? In antiquity, we're getting more and more intelligent. Yeah, you look at that, and then you look. When this photo was taken, we're resigned to building this. Yeah. Evolution? I don't think so. We saw that, didn't we? In the last video. Excuse me. Oh, so let's go back a bit. Go back a bit. Go. Or will I lose it completely? Yeah, I lost it completely. When I see this, I do wonder. In the same way in Egypt, where you've got pharaohs and stuff like that, if this whole thing with Buddhism and these statues, if they were around at the same time, well, my history is not very good, so excuse me if if it was around the same time as Egypt or whatever. Yeah, I just wonder. I wonder if I don't know what the claim is. If this is supposed to be made out of stone or whatever, I'm not sure. But I do wonder if a catastrophe has somehow preserved this for a long period of time. Yeah. Anyway, look at flowers. Wow. Yeah. Again, I'm seeing it all the time. Towers. Yeah, and then constructs built around it, integrating into it for some. But these built at a later date. These were first. And hollow. Yeah, tower. That's recent. Yeah, but you had the square tower, like the same battlements there, and a church built next to it, onto it, around it. um, yeah, I mean, what can you say to that? The work they have done just to get into that building, to make it usable, functional. Hello, goodbye. Well, I guess no problem with shutter speed there. Boats. Yeah, I mean, look at the scale of it. As for mud flooding, you know, It looks more like subsidence, doesn't it? Yeah. I don't think mud's come up. That's not what it looks like. It's like the ground level was just dropped. Yeah. But in such a way that this has remained intact, which is pretty incredible, really. Really. I wish I could tell you, what this machine did in the past, but look at this balconage. Yeah, these aren't ton dishes with pillars like we've been looking at before. Yeah, these are epic fuses or batteries or regulators of energy of some sort. I mean, they're huge, about the size of a person, if not more. Yeah, yeah. It's just on that side. Why not on this side? Yeah. Yeah. When you look at these things, nothing really makes any sense at all. It's all it's uniform but haphazard. Just doesn't, just does nothing ties up. Nothing makes sense. Look at that doorway. Then you've got a little window here. And then like that there. I mean, what's that? Um, yeah, uh, yeah. Anyway, just carry on. I'm going to have a brain if I carry on. I've got about 2 minutes left. Um, yeah, I think I'll have to leave it there, guys. I do apologise. Yeah, so I'm going to end it there. I'm not going to carry on doing another vlog on this. I just wanted to just talk a little bit more because as time's gone on, more things have come to my mind. Looking at Martin's videos and his research and all of your comments on his posts, just giving me different viewpoints. So I just wanted to get out a few more things that I've been picking up recently. Okay, cheerio. Oh, cheerio.